Hello, this week's MTGFormats.com tutorial covers the rules of the Fat Stack format. After we go over the rules of the format, we'll work through a few example rounds of a Fat Stack game in order to give you a feel for the flow of the format. Fat Stack is a format that features two communal libraries from which all players draw cards. The players also share a communal graveyard. Before the game starts, the players should decide which cards to include in the stacks. They also decide how many cards to include in the stacks. In this format, both stacks are usually quite large. The first of the two libraries contains only cards that create mana, cards like Llanowar Elves, Desperate Ritual, the mana-producing diamonds, eggs, and talismans, and of course, plenty of basic and non-basic land cards. The second of the two libraries contains cards that do not provide mana. Every time a player would draw a card, he picks one of the two libraries and draws from that stack. In our example game, player 1 chooses to draw 3 cards from the mana-based library and 4 cards from the other library. His opening hand contains a swamp, a mountain, an island, Dream Thresh, Glasses of Urza, Icy Manipulator, and draw Scorpion. Player 2 chooses to draw 4 cards from the mana-based stack and 3 cards from the other stack. His opening hand contains Sungrass Egg, Plains, Chromatic Sphere, Bant Panorama, Ornithopter, Sunglasses of Urza, and Raise Dead. Note that although Sunglasses of Urza features a mana-related ability, it was included in the mana-less stack because it does not produce mana. Player 1 goes first and does not draw at the beginning of his turn. During his main phase, he plays and taps an island to play Glasses of Urza. He then ends his turn. Player 2's first turn begins. He draws a Shatter from the manaless stack. He plays Bant Panorama and taps it to play Chromatic Sphere. He then plays Ornithopter for 0 mana and ends his turn. Player 1 untaps his island and draws Tribal Flames from the manaless stack. He plays a swamp and taps both of his lands to play Dream Thresh. He then ends his turn. Player 2 untaps his land and draws Yavimaya Granger from the manaless stack. He then plays a Plains and taps it to play Sungrass Egg. He leaves his other land untapped and ends his turn. Player 1 begins his third turn by untapping his lands and drawing an Arcbound Worker from the manaless stack. He plays a mountain. He taps his island to play the Arcbound Worker he just drew. He then taps his mountain and his swamp to play Tribal Flames, targeting Player 2. Player 2's life total is now at 17. Player 1 places the Tribal Flames card in the communal graveyard and ends his turn. Player 2 untaps his Plains and draws a mountain from the mana-based stack. He plays the mountain. He then taps all 3 of his lands to play Sunglasses of Urza. He is tapped out, so he ends his turn. Player 1 begins his fourth turn by untapping his tapped lands. He draws and plays a forest from the mana-based stack, giving him enough mana power to play Draw Scorpion. He plays the Scorpion and ends his turn. Player 2 untaps his tapped lands and draws an island from the mana-based library. He plays the island and pays 2 mana to play Shatter, targeting Player 1's Draw Scorpion. Draw Scorpion is destroyed and moved to the communal graveyard. Player 2 then pays 1 mana to activate Chromatic Sphere's ability. He chooses to add a black mana to his mana pool, and he draws Gerard's Command from the manaless library. He then uses the black mana to play Raise Dead. Since both players share a single graveyard, Player 2 may return any creature in that graveyard to his hand. He takes the Draw Scorpion and ends his turn. Okay guys, that's it. Hopefully these few example rounds have given you a feel for the flow of the Fat Stack format. Thanks for watching, and remember to tune in next time to learn how to play yet another offbeat Magic the Gathering format.